Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Jordan and welcome to JC's Anime Reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Spectre. Spectre is a new anime and the first season ended yesterday, so here I am talking about it. And yeah, in this video, there might be a little bit of spoilers just for like a character's abilities and another character that's introduced later on. But it won't be anything major, just like minor spoilers. You should still be able to watch this and go watch the show afterwards. And I'll warn you right before I do any spoilers of any kind. I'll say like this is a spoiler, and then I'll talk about it. So yeah, I'll give you a warning right beforehand and just let you know about it. So yeah, we're gonna get started right now. Spectre follows Iwanaga Kotoko, who became the goddess of wisdom to the supernatural beings and spends her days solving problems for them. However, the boy who she fell head over heels for, Kuro, is someone that is feared by all supernatural creatures, and the two of them face various mysterious incidents involving the supernatural. I actually enjoyed Spectre a lot more than I thought I was going to. The characters are really good. The idea is pretty cool. They have some pretty cool creatures, like are ghosts. Most of them are ghosts, though. That did bother me. Is that there's different supernatural creatures that, or she's supposed to be the goddess of all these different supernatural creatures, but most of them look like ghosts, and there doesn't seem like there's that much variety of different creatures. And I think this idea of all these different like supernatural creatures or beings is pretty cool, and I would like to see more. So I'm hoping in the second season, if they make a second season, there's going to be a bit more variety of it. But yeah, it's pretty good. The characters I actually really enjoyed. I liked Iwanaga a lot, the girl who's supposed to be like the goddess. She's pretty funny, and she's also like super smart. And I thought what was interesting is that she has no powers at all. Like the only thing that she can do is see the ghost and touch the ghost. But that's it. She has no other powers besides that. And I don't know if her being like super smart is a power, but she's pretty smart. She's like a ghost detective. I mean, I think that's why it's called Spectre. So yeah, she's basically a ghost detective, and sometimes to like solve something or solve some mystery, she has to think a lot. I guess she uses a lot of her brain because there's like a few times where she'll like pass out from thinking so much, which I thought was interesting. It was like the more she thought, the longer she would be passed out. And yeah, I don't know. I just really liked her character. I also liked the other guy, Kuro. I thought that he was pretty cool. His powers are really cool, but they don't show him very much in the anime. Like, they show him a decent amount, but they don't show him as much as I would like to. Like, I wish he was just in it more and did a little bit more. He does a lot of stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad, but maybe if he was in it just a little bit more, it would be a little bit better. Because, like, for the most part, I found myself really caring about Iwanaga, the girl, because she's more of a protagonist than him. He's just kind of with her and has these weird powers. I'm going to talk about his powers, so I'm going to get into spoilers right here. So if you don't want to know about his powers, then don't watch this part, or stop watching the video, or skip past this part. His powers are, he ate the flesh of two different demons, or yokai. I'm not sure if yokai is demons. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I think that's like some Japanese like creature or something like that. But he ate two different yokai, and he ate mermaid. Then he got something called it's like a kudon, I think was the name of it. It was like a cow with the head of a human. And so the powers he gets is the mermaid gives him the power to heal any wound. So if he gets his head cut off or his whole body destroyed, pretty much, his whole body fuses back together. This power reminds me of Ban. I forgot how to pronounce his name, from Seven Deadly Sins. He has like the exact same power. Like, he's immortal and no wound at all can hurt him, and he can heal back together. It's pretty much like him, but also the other power that he has from this Kudon, the like cow human thing, he has the ability to, after he dies, he can predict the future. But the way this works is, so he'll die, and then he has to go through various futures to find the right one. So if there's a future where like his right arm gets cut off or his head gets bashed in or whatever, he would have to pick between that one and decide which future. Or if there's a future where that doesn't happen, he could pick that one and take the necessary action for it to happen. But he kind of has to do it in real time, I think. So he has like a limit to this. So he has to sort through all these different futures and find the right one where something bad doesn't happen, like where he doesn't die or he beats the person or something like that. I did a really shitty job at explaining it. I'm really sorry, but I thought that was interesting. They just don't. I didn't think they explained it in that much detail. They just said he kind of sorts through the future and he picks which one he wants to have happen, but there's like a limit to it. Like if it's a year in the future, there's too many different things that can happen, so he can't pick the right future for himself. So yeah, I'm sorry if I did a bad job at explaining it. They explain it better in the show, but I just wish they explored his powers a little bit more, and I wish he was in the show a little bit more. And that was like one of the only things that bothered me. Actually, now that we're talking about negatives, another thing that bothered me is that it gets really slow, but the slow parts are actually entertaining, which is weird. So like there are some slow parts that are really boring. There's actually one in particular that was just boring and I didn't find that interesting at all. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of the slow parts where she's explaining or talking about different things aren't that boring. But there's one episode in particular, and that's the second episode, and I could see a lot of people stop watching it on the second episode because of how slow it is. I mean, I think you should try to keep watching or watch at least the first 3 episodes before you stop watching it. But the second episode is she has to explain there's this like guardian snake that lives by a lake, and the lake that he lives by, someone dumped a body in it, and the person who dumped the body got arrested because they killed the person. And the girl Iwanaga has to explain to the snake why she got arrested, and the snake keeps not being satisfied with what answers she gives him, so she has to think up an entire like a lie basically for why the girl dumped the body in there to make it so the spirit is satisfied and that it doesn't get upset. So basically the whole episode is her talking about this girl who killed someone and why they did it, and you just spend the whole episode with her explaining it. I think it even goes into the third episode where they're still explaining it, from like the entire second episode to the third episode, and it was just really, really boring. Like, I don't know, I feel like they needed to do that, though. The reason why they did that, though, is because it's to show you how smart she is, basically, and how good she is at explaining things. It makes sense towards the end why they have this episode, but I just felt like I don't know, maybe they could have done it differently. It was just so boring and it's really hard to watch that episode. So yeah, if you stop watching an episode 2, please keep watching. It does get better. There's only one other thing that bothered me, and that's there's the main ghost or main antagonist, basically. So this is spoilers for episode 3 on. So basically the main ghost is this girl who, I guess she was this famous actor and she died, and then there's a ghost of her appearing and killing people and doing different things. Her name is Steel Lady Nanance or something like that. She has a big beam and crushes people's heads and appears, and there's all these rumors about her. But from episode 3 to 12, so basically the entire show, it's just them trying to stop this one ghost, which kind of bothered me because right here on Crunchyroll, it says that they face various mysterious incidents with supernatural beings, and basically the first 2 episodes, there's 2 different incidents, and then episode 3 on is one specific one, so there aren't too many variations to the ghosts that they fight. Just pretty much, it's just them fighting this one ghost the entire time. There's a little bit more to the ghost that they end up explaining later. I'm not going to go into because that's more spoilery. But I don't know. The ghost, it reminds me, there's an episode in Mob Psycho 100 in the second season with this monster that he fights, or ghost that they fight. Spectre reminds me so much of that one episode of Mob Psycho with the way that they explain this ghost. It's a little confusing, but they explain it in the show. I actually can't explain it now. It would take too long. But yeah, I really enjoyed Spectre, though, for the most part. There aren't too many things that bothered me, but it's not amazing. It's pretty good, but only 3 or 4 things that really bothered me. I'm sure that if you watched it, and I'm sure that you could find a lot of different problems with it, but for the most part, it's pretty entertaining, and I found myself just really liking it. So yeah, I'm going to give Spectre a B+. So yeah, I'm curious to see. This is a Crunchyroll original, and I'm curious to see what Crunchyroll does with the rest of the Crunchyroll originals. The next one that I have planned, I know, is Tower of God. I actually posted about it on Instagram. I think it's gonna be this Wednesday, April 1st, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I think it was 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time. So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with Tower of God. I don't know that much about the anime because when they were releasing trailers for it and stuff like that, I didn't watch any of them because a lot of anime seem to, in their trailers, reveal a lot of stuff. Like, I was talking about it in my last video with or Somali and the Forest Spirit. The one trailer for it, like, revealed so much stuff about the anime. Like, any anime trailer that comes out, I never watch at all because most of the time they put a lot of scenes in it that kind of ruin the anime for me, and you can kind of predict what's going to happen after watching the trailer. So I did not watch the trailer for Tower of God. It seems like there's a lot of hype around it. Crunchyroll for the past like 2 weeks has been posting about it nonstop on like Twitter and Instagram. So I'm gonna be watching it like when it premieres, probably at 10:30 or whatever. After the episode, after I finish it, I will post on Instagram and Twitter. So if you want to follow me on there, I'll post my thoughts on what the first episode was and what I think how the anime is gonna go. I read the like plot, so it sounds really interesting. So I'm curious to see what they do. So I know we've seen like Netflix originals. Netflix has some original animes, and it's really cool to see like a anime streaming service actually do this. So I'm really curious to see what the rest are. This one's actually pretty good. I feel like as for their first Crunchyroll original, this one was actually pretty good. I think they're going to keep making some good ones, and I can't wait to see what they do. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really hope that you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're almost at 40 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.